2 years too late. Back in the summer of 2021, I set off on a 3-month solo road trip out to the western part of the United States. The second time that I had done a solo road trip out west. And it's hard to explain just how special this one was, between the friends that I made while on the road, the places that I experienced, and everything in between. It was one of the most amazing summers of my life. And of course, I documented it all. And for a few weeks that year, I was able to share a story once a week on YouTube. And then, right at the end of summer, there was a family tragedy that kind of took me away from socials for a bit. And then I got caught up in work during the fall, and after that, I just never found the time to finish sharing the stories from this trip. Now, I could make a full-length feature film from this trip. I mean, it was a 3-month road trip to some of the most beautiful places in the United States. I could try to finish out the vlog-type series that I had going again as well. But I want this one to just be all about the visuals, with a handful of stories that I want to share kind of sprinkled in. So, I hope you enjoy, and I'm sorry that it's taken 2 years. So, after driving from St. Louis, where my grandparents live, straight through the middle of the country for about 14 hours in 100-degree heat, in which my AC stopped working, I arrived in South Dakota, where I was treated to the most amazing sunset. It was the most wonderful welcome to the West gift that I could have ever gotten. I spent that whole evening running around like a little kid, capturing it and just taking it all in. And the next morning, I headed into Badlands National Park on a sunrise mission. And it wasn't a crazy sunrise, wild sky, but I was the only one in there. And it was so beautiful, so peaceful. It was pure bliss. The next spot that I went to gave way to arguably one of my most iconic landscape photos, and it was hands down one of the craziest skies that I've ever experienced, even to this day. I went over to Bear Lodge, or Devil's Tower, in Wyoming to check it out, being as I had never been there. And when I got there, the sky was just a gray mass. There was no texture, no form, no color, no anything. And so after exploring around for a little, it started to rain a little bit, and I decided to head back to camp to cook some dinner. But as soon as I left, the sun kind of started to poke its head through the clouds, and there was a nice little glow coming through. So I decided to head back in and check out one more spot. And I'm honestly so glad that I did, because what came next was the most amazing sky that I've ever seen. So, in full transparency, I think one of the reasons why I put this video off for so long was because it's actually kind of tough to make. Going back 2 years into my catalog, it's really tough to be decently satisfied with the shots that I got. You know, I'm constantly finding myself always wishing that a shot was held for a few seconds longer, or that I captured a different angle, or that I used different settings. There's a million things that could have been different, but it's honestly also just been really wonderful to look back on how far I've come as a person, as a professional, and as a creative.
wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us. If we just hold on tight, this vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. Wait for our home to show on the horizon. Soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us. If we just hold on tight, this vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. When we can't read the sky, we just sail with the wind that we've got. And when we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the shore.
Two of the more intense moments during the trip came while I was in Arizona, and this one specifically was while I was in Sedona. I was hanging out in the national forest when we were told we had to evacuate the area due to the wildfires. And I had just gotten to Sedona and I obviously was not ready to leave yet. So I ended up having to book an Airbnb for a few nights so that I still had some time to explore. However, the next day, the smoke from the fires, it filled the air and it turned the sky a gray, brownish color and it turned the sun pink. There was barely anyone on the trails and it was real quiet aside from the occasional helicopter passing overhead. It was surreal and incredibly eerie. I kind of felt like I was in some sort of post-apocalyptic type movie, which is definitely never the vibe that you want to have when you're out exploring, especially in a place as beautiful as Sedona. And then Utah, which unfortunately will be the last part in this video so as to not make this video an hour long. Utah has 5 national parks in the state, and they're all so wildly epic. The whole state honestly just feels like a different planet. It has just some of the most insane rock and earth formations that you can imagine, and even those that you can't. But I don't want to let my words get in the way of it, so please enjoy these beautiful clips of this wildly impressive state.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
So I know I said I was going to make this just one video, but I think I underestimated how much footage I actually had of this trip that I wanted to share. So maybe I should have made a full-length film. And maybe someday I will. Telling stories through video has become such a wonderful outlet for me, and one that I'm gonna continue to pursue. Though I am sorry for now making you wait till next week for part 2. But I think you'll want to stick around, because Wyoming, California, Oregon, and Washington are not to be missed. Alright, till next time. Talk soon.
Look at this beautiful star.